In a world that's just filled with constant distractions, stress, and anxiety, what if the real key to mastering your mind wasn't some new app or a modern self-help technique, but actually a 3,000-year-old conversation that happened on a battlefield? Well, today we're diving deep into the Bhagavad Gita's absolutely timeless guide to conquering the mind.
So let me just ask you this straight up. Have you ever felt like your own mind is your biggest enemy? That it just will not listen, it's jumping from thought to thought, and it feels totally impossible to tame? Well, if you have, you are in very, very old company.
This is the exact complaint from Arjuna, a legendary warrior, speaking to his guide, Krishna. He literally says that trying to control his mind feels like trying to catch the wind in a bottle. Doesn't that frustration sound incredibly familiar even today?
So let's start right there with the problem itself, the unruly mind. And as we're about to see, this is not some new age issue. It's a problem that's been part of the human condition for at least 3,000 years.
Okay, so how did Krishna respond to this? Well, he didn't just offer sympathy. He laid out a practical, step-by-step manual for turning that internal chaos into your most focused, powerful ally. And that whole journey starts with understanding the ultimate goal. And that brings us to the solution, what the Gita calls the promise of a yogi. Krishna presents this incredible goal not as becoming some hermit who runs away from the world, but as becoming a true master of your own self. Now, this is where it gets really interesting because the Gita completely redefines what a yogi is. It's not about doing nothing, it's about doing the right thing. A true yogi is someone who can fully engage with the world, but stays internally free from that emotional roller coaster of, did I win or did I lose?
And the Gita even gives us a roadmap for this. For the beginner on this path, your main tool is action, that deliberate, conscious effort to focus and practice. But for the person who's already achieved mastery, their tool becomes peace itself. It's this beautiful evolution from trying so hard to just being, from effort to effortlessness.
So here's the bottom line, and it is a profound choice. The Gita says your own mind, yourself, can be your greatest friend or your absolute worst enemy. There's no one else to blame and no one else to credit. The power and the responsibility, it's all on you.
And this just paints such a vivid picture of what that mastery actually looks like. Can you imagine having an inner stability that isn't rocked by life's opposites? Heat and cold, praise and blame, happiness and sorrow. The mastered mind sees beyond all those superficial differences and just rests in this unshakable calm.
Okay, so that's the goal. It sounds amazing, right? But how do we actually get there? Well, the Gita doesn't leave us hanging. It offers a super practical guide to meditation, the real how-to for achieving this state. And just look at how systematic this is. It's amazing. It starts before you even sit down, with balancing your life, your food, your sleep. Then you prepare your space, get a stable posture, focus your gaze, and only then do you turn the mind inward. This isn't some vague philosophy. It's literally a step-by-step technique. This is one of the most beautiful analogies in all of spiritual literature. Just picture that for a second. A perfectly still flame in a place with no wind. It's steady, bright, and completely unwavering. That, Krishna says, is exactly what a mind that's been brought under control feels like. It's such a powerful image of peace and focus. All right. Now we get to the heart of Krishna's answer to Arjuna's big problem. Because after hearing all this, Arjuna is still doubtful. He's basically saying, this all sounds great, but my mind is still a raging storm. So Krishna offers him two absolutely essential tools. And there it is, the two-part formula. It sounds so simple, right? But it's incredibly profound. Krishna totally agrees with Arjuna. He says, yes, the mind is difficult to control, but, and this is the crucial part, he says it can be done. Through these two things, practice and renunciation. So what are these tools really? Well, practice, or Abhyasa, that's the grunt work. It's the muscle of meditation. Every single time your mind wanders off, you gently but firmly bring it back, again and again and again. Then there's renunciation, or Vairagya. That's the art of letting go. It's releasing your death grip on all the cravings and aversions that are constantly pulling your mind off-center. You absolutely need both. One is the engine, and the other is the rudder.
Okay, but at this point, another very human fear pops up. Arjuna asks a question that I'm sure many of us have thought. Okay, What happens if I try all this, but I don't fully succeed in this lifetime? Is all my effort just wasted? He's pretty much asking, is there a spiritual safety net here? He's worried about getting caught in the middle. He's left behind the ordinary path of worldly pleasure, but he hasn't quite reached the goal of spiritual freedom either. It's such a critical question.
And Krishna's answer is one of the most comforting, most motivating verses in the entire Gita. It is this profound assurance. He says that any effort you make on this path is never, ever lost. There is literally no such thing as wasted effort when you are striving to do good.
The Gita goes on to explain that whatever progress you make, you carry it with you. You basically pick up right where you left off, and you're born into circumstances that help you continue that journey. This totally removes the fear of failure, and it encourages us to just start right now, knowing that every single step counts.
So Krishna wraps up his instructions with this incredibly powerful call to action. He places the path of the yogi, this path of inner mastery, above all others. He's saying it is the highest, most worthy thing a human being can do. It's not just a friendly suggestion, it's a command. Be a yogi.
And so we end right back where we started, with a choice. The Gita lays it all out for us, the problem, the goal, the method, and the promise. But in the end, it leaves the decision with us. That very same mind that can be an unruly, chaotic enemy holds the potential to become your wisest, most loyal friend. The only question left is, which one will you choose?